wants to know, how did you first approach learning Bach on the banjo? Because, you know, you've interpreted a lot of classical music.
Right, well, I was trying to develop a comprehensive approach to the banjo in the 70s. When I was in high school, I'd been learning my folk and bluegrass, and it was like I wanted to learn to play the scales. And, you know, you hear certain things are supposed to be great, and you don't know why. You know, you hear that, oh, you know, like jazz is great, Charlie Parker's supposed to be great, you know, Miles Davis is supposed to be great, Bach's supposed to be great, Beethoven's supposed to be great. So I didn't really know what they all sounded like, but I would go get their music, get a CD, and then I'd start trying to figure it out. So at a certain point I figured, well, if I'm supposed to be trying to really get the banjo, I should learn something classical, and I got the partita book, the Bach stuff, and I worked out the fingerings. And just like learning a jazz solo, every single thing I would learn on the banjo would give me new vocabulary that would teach me more about the instrument. And so this first partita that I learned really opened up a lot of things for me about how to get around the banjo in order to play those notes. I was just lucky I picked one that fit the range of the banjo, and it took me all over the banjo and through many, many keys, just like a great Charlie Parker solo is, you know, goes through a lot of keys. Even though when you're in one key, there's lots of chromaticism and interesting motion. And so it's sort of fundamental music. Bach is fundamental music. So since then, I've always tried to learn new Bach pieces. And when I finally made a classical record, then I took a more aggressive approach to the whole thing. And I learned some music from some other people, and Paganini, Chopin, some Beethoven, some Debussy. And some of that music works on the banjo. But in the end, you're trying to play music that was written for another instrument. Of course. So one of my goals is to write music for the banjo that has that kind of harmony and that kind of motion and a kind of depth to it that is built around the banjo. And I see that as a nice big whole that hasn't, you know, creating repertoire, written repertoire for the banjo that teaches you about the instrument, uses the open strings and the rolls and the different techniques that I've been working on to create music, because the techniques are they're just flash unless you actually make some music that somebody wants to listen to. So I want to write these pieces that you'd actually want to listen to as music.
As I'm sure a lot of people will
see how it goes.